Chapter 7. Plants, Living and Surviving. Terrestrial plants. Aquatic plants. Insectivorous plants. Non-green plants. There are many different kinds of plants around us. Plants grow almost everywhere, on the land, in water, on ocean beds, in ponds, in hilly regions and even in deserts. Plants grow in those places where the climate suits them. They have to change themselves according to the environment in which they grow in order to survive. This modification or adjustment is known as adaptation. There are different types of plants such as terrestrial, aquatic, insectivorous and non-green plants. Let us read about some plants and their habitat. Terrestrial plants. Plants growing on land are called terrestrial plants. Plains, mountains and deserts are just a few of the diverse features of the land. Different kinds of plants can be found flourishing in various environments. They have different shapes, sizes and structures according to their surroundings. Plants in plains. In the plains, trees have a number of branches and leaves. Many of these trees can bear heat and many shed their leaves in winter to protect themselves against cold. Trees like peepal, neem, shisham, mango, gulmohar, sal and banyan are examples of such trees. Neem, shisham, banyan, mango. Plants in hilly regions. Trees growing in hilly regions are usually tall, straight and cone-shaped. These features allow the snow to easily slide off their branches. Some of the trees of hilly region are pine, fir, and cedar. They produce cones instead of flowers. The leaves of the trees are needle-like and have a waxy coating to prevent any damage from snow. Pine tree. Fir tree. Plants in deserts. Desert plants can survive with little water. Cactus, babool and date palm trees commonly grow here. Some desert plants lack leaves. Chlorophyll is present in the green stem, where it is used to carry out photosynthesis instead of the leaves. Cactus and prickly pear are such plants in which leaves are reduced to spines. This helps to conserve water and keep away animals. Desert plants store water in their stem, which becomes fleshy. Desert plants. Cactus. Date palm. Babool. Plants in hot and humid regions. In hot and humid regions, evergreen trees are found. Evergreen trees are green throughout the year. Some of the evergreen trees are teak and coconut. Some of the other plants that grow in such places are coffee, rubber, sugarcane, etc. These plants are evergreen and do not shed their leaves in a particular season. Coffee plant. Rubber tree. Sugarcane. Plants in swamp and marshes. Swamps and marshes have sticky soil which contains a lot of water. Plants that grow in marshy and swampy areas are called mangroves. In marshy areas, it becomes very difficult for the plants to grow because air cannot reach their roots. So, the plants growing here have breathing roots. These roots grow out of the soil to absorb air from the atmosphere. Aquatic plants. Plants that grow in water are called aquatic plants. 3 different plant types can be found in the aquatic environment. They are well adapted to their aquatic environment. Free-floating plants. In lakes and ponds, some plants keep on floating on the surface of water. Stems of floating plants are light and spongy so that they can float on water. Water hyacinth, duckweed and water lettuce are some examples of such plants. These plants have swollen leaves which help them afloat. Water hyacinth. Duckweed. Rooted floating plants. Some plants have their roots fixed to the soil underwater. Water lily and lotus are examples of such plants. Their stems support the large leaves and flowers that float on the surface of water. Leaves of these plants are broad and flat with a waxy coating on the surface to prevent them from rotting. Water lily. Lotus. Underwater or submerged plants. Plants such as Hydrilla, Vallisneria, pondweed and tapegrass remain underwater. Underwater or submerged plants have thin and narrow leaves that do not have any stomata. They breathe through their surface. They use carbon dioxide from water for photosynthesis and give out oxygen. Fish and other aquatic animals use this oxygen to stay alive. Hydrilla. Pondweed. Tapegrass. Insectivorous plants. Some plants are carnivorous in nature. Their leaves are modified to trap insects. Such plants that consume insects as their food are called insectivorous plants. Some of the insectivorous plants are Venus flytrap, sundew and pitcher plant. Insectivorous plants. Pitcher plant. Venus flytrap. Sundew. Venus flytrap has leaves that are like boxes with hinges. They have hair-like structures along the edges. When an insect touches the hair, the leaf snaps shut, trapping the creature inside. The pitcher plant has leaves that resemble a container or pitcher with a lid that covers the pitcher's mouth. When an insect lands on the edge of the pitcher, it slips and falls into it. The lid closes, trapping the insect inside. Secretions from the pitcher help to digest the trapped insect. Nongreen plants. Nongreen plants are of many varieties. Indian pipe and coral root are examples of nongreen plants because they lack chlorophyll. Plants that cannot make their own food and absorb nutrients from dead plants and animals are called saprophytic plants. Synopsis. Plants grow in those places where the climate suits them. Tall, cone-shaped trees such as pine and FIR grow in hilly regions. Plants such as cactus and date palm grow in desert areas. In swampy areas, plants have breathing roots. Aquatic plants are of three types: floating, fixed and underwater plants. Some plants are modified to trap insects and, hence, are known as insectivorous plants. Some plants are nongreen in color because they lack chlorophyll.